So now that we have all the bumper pads fabric, I started to realize, how am I going to attach it in the corner? And I saw somewhere online that on the back they had it was almost like a strap, and it had a grommet in it. And so I thought, you know what? Why don't I just try to squeeze grommets into the back side of this, and then take some of my extra ball bungees and just wrap it around that. So let me show you how those are made real quick as far as putting the grommets into the bumper pad. The very first one of these I only did two. I did kind of one at the top about 6 inches from the top, and then the other one about 6 inches from the bottom. But then I realized that it wasn't given enough tension here in the middle, and this got a little floppy. So I decided I'm going to put 3 in there, and that seems to be, with the ball bungees, the best option possible. You can put more if you want, but this is kind of a pain because if you don't plan ahead, you're kind of pinching this fabric, as tight as you can, and see if you can create some sort of seam so that you can punch into the fabric, and you might even get in to some of the foam. But you got to give it a wallop. Give it a second there. That one punched through pretty good. So let's do the other two then. So here we're going to do the second one. We're going to load our handy dandy little grommet maker here. That magnetizes that end. I think there's a magnet on that end. But what I was saying was, you really have to pinch this to try and create some sort of seam, and then push down into as much fabric as you can get to, and then give it a nice big push. And then that's what you end up with. So do a third one down here. Again, load that up. Load that up. See if you can't create yourself some sort of fabric seam and stay out of the foam, but it's not entirely possible every time. You don't have to hold it long like that. I don't know. I do that because I feel like I'm getting a better squeeze on it. But yeah, so that's what you end up with. Yeah, pretty cool. And then I'll show you how I put it in with the ball bungees. So we're in the corner now. As you can see, I've already got one installed here, and it's got 3 bungees on it, 3 of the ball bungees that go through the eyelets. And as you can see, it holds it in there pretty tight. Now, you're wondering, does it stop everything? No. I'm trying to keep as many balls as possible from getting through the corners and the gaps where the structure is at, because I'm 14 inches off my drywall, and I'm trying to just keep that from looking like a war zone. So go ahead and look at this, and I'll show you what can happen and what does happen. Okay, so as you can see, bounces off, gets stuck, does some crazy things, right? But it slows it down so much that even if it does get through, it barely bounces against the wall. Reach under your screen, you're good to go. So what I'm doing is, I'll just take a bungee like this, run it through the eyelet, and then I go to the screen. Tuck that in there. There you are. And then you go down all 3. That's all you got to do. Pretty much going to do the same thing across the top and down the sides. And then we'll get into what I'm doing on the bottom, because everybody's screen at the bottom, I feel, is a lot different than somebody else's. So we'll jump to that in the next video. Go ahead and make them your own. It's cheaper than 150 bucks each. So just as a recap, here are the corner bumpers. That's 2 1/4. I can make a tiny little corner spot up there. Yes, there are a couple small design flaws. And there are the horizontal ones. But again, for DIY, I'm hundreds, if not thousands of dollars ahead making all this on my own. And you can do it too.